Classic, on the other hand, well, can he really go for a good attack timing against Bomber here? I feel that Bomber is expecting him to be aggressive.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, our Terran player starts at the bottom left of the map, starting for Startail. In red, it is Bomber.
Red Bull hoodie. His teammate recently taken BWC. And to the top right, a member of the Prime team for a long time. He is Classic.
Very classic indeed. Cross position to his opponent.
And Classic has been playing those Code qualifiers for forever. If I'm not mistaken, this is his first time playing in Code A. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, and by the way, talking about Code A and the Code A qualifiers, to all you guys who are tuned in a little bit later, you're not really aware in which round we currently are in. We are in the first round of Code A, the round of 48, so the players that lose today will drop back into Code B, have to re-qualify for Code A next season through the tournament grids. So yeah, this is the most important game for all of them.
By the way, it looks like Classic is going to go for at the very least, a later gateway. No, he's going to go Nexus first, in fact.
It's a huge map.
Yeah.
Taking a little bit of a risk here, that can definitely work well for you. The same is true for Bomber. He's going to start with the command center first here, and not bothering with with the barracks.
Something else to note about today's matches is we only have one non-Protoss versus Terran matchup for the entire day, and it's going to be MMA versus
Diablo. That's going to be one of the best games, by the way.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one later. There's the barracks going down. You'll see a gateway follow here from Classic. Unless he wants to do something super crazy like double Nexus before gate. I don't think that's ever been seen before.
Classic? I don't know. Do you feel that he is a player who can beat Bomber in a straight-up game?
No.
I feel he has to find some kind of angle or some kind of attack timing that completely surprises Bomber.
I mean, he can. I mean, anything is possible. But if I were him, knowing the position I'm in and knowing the player I'm playing against, playing in the late game against this guy who has so many more results than me, if I'm Classic, I would say, you know, I'm known for using unique strategies. I'm pretty good at them, and that's what I'm going to stick to.
It's pretty hard to make work on a map like this, though.
Yeah, it's really big.
Especially, you know, we have cross positioning, so the distance between the two bases is huge. And now, Bomber still without the gas. He didn't add a single refinery just yet, highlighted once again by our observer here.
Yeah, and not only that, but he hasn't scouted either. He has no information about where Classic even is.
He goes for the third barracks.
This is interesting. Will he go up to more than 3 barracks? Will he go up to one of these 5 barracks pushes? I don't think so, but...
I would love to see one, though. Bomber actually being the player who really made them popular.
It looks like he's not going to. Adds the gas now.
Would be cool, though.
Yeah, he used to do this quite often, but the map, I feel, is too big for this.
I have to point something out that I really love about GSL while we have a little bit of downtime here and just waiting for the tech trees to unfold. You know what I really love? GSL is the only tournament that actually uses overlays, and in this case it's the player shots, to cover this unit portrait.
Yes.
I hate it so much when you have the player shot and right next to it you have the unit portrait. It always distracts me from the game, and yeah, I know it's a little bit asymmetrical with how the information in the middle are displayed, but I feel it's so much better.
Yeah, it's totally fine. To me, that unit portrait on the right almost seems like we have like this third player in the game that's constantly changing, and suddenly you see like Overlord's face, and I'm like, what are you doing here? You didn't qualify for this tournament.
And he's always staring at the player to the right, you know? He's like, dude, you're creeping me out.
Yeah, I don't like it, but yeah, you're so right, and I would second that. There are a lot of tournaments out there who actually leave the portrait and just don't do that.
I mean, I can see why. It's not like it's a mistake or anything, but I just love this solution a lot more, and I was just looking at the screen and I realized it again. So
we're gonna see DTs, by the way.
And this kind of proves what we were talking about, that Classic is not really comfortable playing against Bomber with a straight-up style without using any kind of tricks.
Yeah. And even though tricks are for kids, sometimes you can catch players like Bomber who have a ton of experience, and they're very well respected. They're really good in the late game. Sometimes you can catch them off guard. It's always a gamble, but I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. You know, it's a legit strategy. I really feel, for example, that people are overusing the term cheese these days too much.
Yeah.
It's like, if you decide to go for an all-in or for some kind of, I don't know, weird tech that you try to hide, it's completely legit because you try to exploit the fact or the hope that your opponent is playing too greedy. And if you're a player who is heading into a macro game and you play too greedy and you are not prepared to defend against an early attack, then you kind of deserve to lose.
I agree. You know, actually, I feel like there are very few cheese builds even left, in fact, right now in StarCraft 2. I say cheese in that to do a forward 2x proxy against a Zerg is actually a very standard play. I don't find it cheesy. There is an eBay out here, so as long as he deals with the initial DT as well, Bomber should be totally fine here, as long as he gets his turret up.
He might actually... Are those Marines in hold position? I don't think so, but if they were, they would completely block the path for the DTs.
Almost sent both DT. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
This is actually genius. Wow, that was definitely intentional. I didn't even realize that.
That was pretty awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome, in fact. Oh my god, he immediately salvages all the bunkers. He's like, oh, okay. Nothing I have to worry about here. And now boom again, scans. And Classic is in such... You better not walk that DT into a scan.
That would have been awkward. That would have been very, very awkward. Yeah, so Bomber is now looking at this like, okay, well, so you went to DTs again. I don't have to be afraid of any kind of Colossi timing.
He's got turrets at all three locations, the natural, ramp, and both bases. So there's no way even a drop of DTs can bother him now.
Classic killed one Marine with this.
That's it.
Oh wow, and look how many gates he adds.
He's
5
going
additional one.
He's going to go for that charged Zealot follow-up again off 3 base. This can work out because he's used these DTs to take the third, and now Bomber is going to struggle to attack that third base, but Bomber is building the better late game composition with the tech that he's getting.
Exactly, and the one thing that is going to miss for Classic is area of effect damage.
Exactly.
Oh, actually he's adding the Templar Archive right now. He wants to head into Storm 2.
It's just so hard to afford all that though, and this could be a problem. This is again with no combat shield, so easy to take out Marines, but Bomber has saved scans intelligently here.
Yeah, and with all these scans now he has enough energy to make sure that he can take down every single DT. We have 57 army supply against 24. Bomber is more than doubling his opponent's army.
Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it that way, if you just look at the numbers.
Classic knows what's coming, but can he defend it?
There's no area of effect here. There's only a 2 medevacs with this force. As soon as combat shield finishes, all of these +1 units are going to do so much damage.
Combat shield is...
He's waiting for it.
Yeah.
He knows he can do something once it finishes. Charge, though, is also done, and DTs can buy time. Bomber decides he doesn't want to attack. Straight up, he wants to find another angle.
Yeah, he tries to drop. The DT doesn't see the medivacs. Was close, though.
Oh, wow, what a good eye. You heard that animation of that slash, but that Marine didn't even get hit.
He tries to drop... Oh, is he going straight for the main base? Would that work? How many stalkers are there?
I feel there's like just 2?
Yeah, like 2, and 2 are not going to be enough.
Yeah, definitely not. He's making a photon cannon, which will help out, but it's going to be just a few seconds too late.
Oh, wow, this could be devastating. This could take the game.
Yep.
Bomber could win right here. Decides to not commit, though.
Ow.
He doesn't really know if there are more stalkers.
If he did it, though, you're right. The game would end. The army of Classic is way out of position. And now he's going to go for it. He's going to lose 1 medevac full of units, but the rest of the medevacs will unload. And he catches the units on rally here, so he keeps them away from the main, but a great trap by Classic, actually catching all of these forces.
A nice pickup with the medivacs, making sure that those units don't die in the main base. The bio army still is going wild, taking down both forges. No upgrades for Classic anymore. Even though he has a bit of a lead now in the supply, he will fall way behind his opponent with the upgrades.
Yeah. The one thing he still has alive is the Templar Archives, which does ignore upgrades, of course, those storms, but I gotta say, that was a great trade for Bomber. He finds himself down in supply, though. The biggest issue for Bomber is he has no 3rd command center, and he hasn't been able to deny much mining. He denies upgrades, yes, but the economy of Classic will allow him to get those forges back up and restart them immediately.
Bomber with a huge army, 87 army supply, is still roaming the map, trying to find an angle to engage. Has to be careful, but he's even pulling his SCVs right now. He wants to end this game.
He knows he can't actually fall back to anything here.
Yeah. He still has the third command center, will have an orbital, so this isn't even a complete all-in.
It's not all-in. You're right.
He just needs to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, he needs a buffer. He wants to make his army supply advantage even stronger with those SCVs. And then he'll have something to fall back on if he kills this base. Here we go. SCVs at the front. This is well executed. So many players are keeping their SCVs at the back during this fight. A great storm, though, by Classic. Bomber reacts immediately, but he's stimmed so much.
The SCVs blocked the Zealots for a long time. Bomber and Classic still kind of tight in supply. Classic warped in another round of units, whereas Bomber is now heading into the natural, trying to take down this base.
Oh, one storm could change everything, though. The Templar tries to move in, and he gets a great storm. I think Classic may end up holding here. It's going to be tough, though. The Archon is clumbing in around the left side. He wants to wait for one more storm, and the storm is good.
Oh, it kills a lot of units, and Bomber is dropping in supply, but so does Classic. The Harvester count is still way better for the Protoss player. He's way ahead, but he has to deal with 2 mules against him and another orbital in the making. Bomber gets out here, but Classic, after this failed attempt to take Bomber down with DTs, is now in the better position, has a little bit of a lead.
Yeah, I think Bomber, with that attack was a little bit desperate. Classic had Storm this time. And now, before that battle happened, it was 72 probes to 36 SCVs, literally double. Now, he's got 61 harvesters to 35. Yeah, Bomber threw a lot of his SCVs away there. His economy is a little bit hurt, but he still has an army to mess around with. The thing is, the longer he gives Classic time, the better Classic is going to be. Right now, his 2-2 upgrades are finishing up. Bomber, on the other hand, is about to have only +2 weapons. He doesn't have a lot of resources banked up.
The army supply is still in favor of the Terran player. He has a command center, right? The third is not an orbital. Oh, it's an orbital. Okay, so he can use the extra mule. He upgraded it. And now he's pulling the rest of his SCVs. Bomber with this is all in. He's now going for it. The second wave, using all of his SCVs this time, trying to end the game.
Yeah, literally every single SCV has only got mules mining back at home. He even pulled out of gas.
There are 4 Templars, 4 High Templars for the Storms, and those Storms have to be excellent.
Yeah. The army supply right now, 82 to 74 in Bomber Saber, but if you consider all the SCVs as somewhat of an army supply, there's 35 of them to add in there. Oh, the Archons here are at the front. He needs to buy time for storms.
Bomber just has no EMPs and needs to make this happen right now. He can't. Yeah.
This isn't going to work. Plus,
I don't think so.
Classic has 4 more cannons morphing at the natural with storms. The Bomber's going to have to GG here.
Yeah, Bomber is trying to stutter step away, do as much damage as possible, but he is down to 46 supply. He has no income except for the few mules that he still has available, and Classic is tripling his supply, has 3 bases, warps in more units, game is over.
Yeah.
So, Classic, with an attempt to go DTs, Bomber Defense is able to get a lead and tries to end the game quickly, but his opponent gets Storm out. Storm really helped him to defend those attacks, and Bomber realizes, well, I don't have a Ghost Academy. I completely banked all my hopes, everything on my Bioforce and the Medivacs. So without the Ghost Academy, I cannot really make this work. Try to pull the SCVs again, and Classic was ready.
Yeah, he was totally ready, and it's funny because we talked about how Bomber is actually he's the guy who plays the late game.
Yeah,
it's how he how he normally is known as, how he plays, but he just refused to do it on this big map.
I feel what happened is Bomber, you said it best when Bomber started to salvage his bunkers. He looked at this and like, okay, you have DTs, I defended against the DTs, they didn't do any damage, so you can't have any Colossi or anything. So he had 2 choices. He was either, well, I can attack you right now and try to end the game, or I can just